Stop, listen, and ask yourself, have you ever pondered at the idea that there may be something to the other side? If so, and you're hearing my voice for the first time, then you may have just fallen into the void. Hey there, hello there, and welcome, listener, to Season 2 of Into the Void, where we continue to talk and discuss all things paranormal. I am still and always will be G-Man, your ghost host with the most. That's right, Season 2, which means double the spooks, double the thrills, double the chills, plus many more deliberations about things that go bump in the night. If you thought Season 1 had some interesting topics, well, get your sage out and start cleansing your ears now, because this season we will be falling even deeper into the void, the mystical, the unexplained, the known, and the unknown. But I won't be able to do this on my own. No, sir. For this, I'm going to need some help from the Into the Void crew. So, without further ado, listeners, please help me in welcoming a mysterious man who sits in the wake, controlling the very sound that is traveling through your ears. Please welcome Mr. Renee. That's not a porcupine. That's my sister, Bravo.
Hey, man, what's up?
What's going on, Renee?
Not too much. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be here.
It
you're
is.
Here today.
It is so good to be back. Next, please welcome from the dark, wretched dungeon of Dracula's castle, Mr. Gabriel, I taught Baby Yoda how to be cute, Samaniego.
Really bright outside, guys.
Now, I will mention this. There are a couple people who have not been able to show up today. Our IT editor and photographer, David Fant, and also our manager, Jen, who actually lives in Alabama. And we've also got our Patreon member and also crew member, Nicole Birmingham. And last, but certainly not least, I have talked about this. I have mentioned it. I've even put hashtags on it on our Instagram, Bats and Ghouls. Please give a very big welcome back to the show, a privy man, a man who puts the normal in paranormal, the necromantic himself, ladies and gentlemen, the Mystic.
How's it going, guys and girls? It's good to be back. Looking forward to Season 2 with y'all.
Woo! It is great to have you back, Mystic.
It's been a while. It's nice to be behind the mic again.
You know, honestly, gentlemen, welcome back and Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And
happy holidays.
Can I just say how good it feels to be back here at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California?
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely 100% great. Renee, our sound engineer, he is actually one of the workers here over at Undercity Comics. Renee, this facility, again, I know I mentioned it in Season 1, but I got to say it in Season 2. It is outstanding, amazing.
We pride ourselves in trying to keep up with our reputation, if anything. I just got told today that the organization is what brings a lot of people in.
Oh, nice.
That we organize all of our inventory.
Oh, you guys do. Yeah. You guys do. And I believe if you guys have an Instagram, correct?
Yes, we do.
Do you know the title of the Instagram?
Yeah, it's just at Undercity Comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Great Instagram. You guys have great pictures on there. I love the figurines that you guys put up on there also. Yeah. Again, if you get a chance, listener, please come on down to Whittier, California. Check out Undercity Comics for all your Undercity Comics needs.
You won't be disappointed.
No, you will not be disappointed. They have Funko Pops. They have figurines, comic books, graphic novels. I mean, anything and everything you can think of, they have over here. Well, guys, Season 2 is officially started. Woo! I'm excited. I know you're excited. But let's just talk about what we have. What we have in store for Season 2. Listener, a lot of ideas were thrown around as to what was going to be communicated for this season. Amongst those ideas, we wanted to make sure we brought you some of the same but also new ideas and topics that might tickle your fancy. And speaking of tickling your fancy, Tech Talk, a new blog coming to the website. Last season, we had an episode dedicated to giving insight and knowledge on the type of equipment used when it comes to the paranormal. For more on that, please go to Season 1, Episode 5. Now, the response, and Mystic, I don't know, you can agree with me or not, the response was, a lot higher than we had anticipated?
Yeah, I find that the listeners like having the content that is laid out for the layman. It's
Absolutely.
not too technical. We're not trying to sound smart. We're just trying to educate.
Exactly. And so for that reason and many others, we would like to keep going with it, but this time a little bit different. So Mystic, who has been hard at work on this new project for the show, I pass the mic to you now with this one question. What is Tech Talk?
So Tech Talk with Mystic is going to be a monthly blog post on the website. I've compiled a list of the top 7 tools of the trade recommended by professional investigators for the beginner. So expect that every month. I will drop when the postings will go up the week prior. So expect the first entry next week when the episode actually drops into all of our streaming portals. That will be the day the blog post will be going up. Like I said, I have 7 so far. So for the next 7 months, you and I will be talking about various tools of the trade. I'm going to get behind the science of it. I really am trying to gear the blog posts for the everyman, so that way you can just pick up, instead of it being like a tech manual on a how-to. It's more of a like the layman's how-to, what things are, how things work.
That's awesome. I'm excited to be reading these blogs.
Definitely, listeners, if you've got anything outside of the 7 that I've got that you want me to talk about or look into, definitely drop a line. I'll plug. One of us will plug in all of the social media at the end of the episode, so you can definitely drop us a line if you've got any questions, comments, or concerns considering Tech Talk with Mystic. So yeah, looking forward to that. Blog post will drop next week for the first one.
And let me ask you, Mystic, when you were doing this research, is there any specific type of technology that you found to stand out more than others, or did you find them to be all practically the same or different in a way?
Well, I mean, every tool is designed to capture or help you capture a different thing. You have digital voice recorders for EVPs. When I do that segment, I'll get into a little bit of what an EVP is, how those come around, what causes that. Then you have EMF readers for when you're doing fluctuations. My favorite bit of tech will always be like the ghost boxes, the voice boxes, and the white noise generators, because those, without getting too much into it, those let you really get like an intelligent response as far as EVPs are concerned. Especially when you're in a site that is, renowned for having that kind of activity.
Right.
So yeah, it's every time a blog post will come out, I'm going to try and get into as much detail as I can without being overwhelming.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a very interesting season, especially with these blogs that are coming out on the website, which we'll mention at the end of the show here.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to definitely reading a lot of your blogs, and I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners are going to be looking forward to that too. So. Oh yeah,
it'll be on the End of the Void website. We'll drop that at the end of the episode. Our IT guy David has done a beautiful job with the website. If you haven't checked it out already, all of our episodes are up there. Galleries, previous interviews we've done in the first season, it's all up there.
Yeah.
And then now with the blog post coming up, expect the website to get a small cosmetic change up when David finally gets his hands on it. So.
Absolutely. And we also have interviews coming up for this season. In fact, we have some familiar people coming back, and then we also have some new voices that will be making their way, or should I say, falling their way into the Void studio, from paranormal investigators giving us their concept on the paranormal even after studying and investigating for so long. We have haunted explorers and guests telling us their real ghostly encounters. So this is going to be really interesting. We've got, on the top of my head here, we've got Mike Fontaine coming in, who's a paranormal investigator. We've got Michael Scott, YouTuber, who also is a paranormal investigator.
I'm very excited for the Michael Scott interview.
And we've been doing our research on him, and there's a lot of videos. To my understanding, if you look at his playlist, it's 77 paranormal investigated videos, but he has 220 something videos
on
the
videos,
paranormal. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked out Michael Scott, definitely give him a shot.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
YouTube, I will never stop plugging that man in. That man does good work.
Oh, it's phenomenal what he does. Let's see what else we have. We also have Kelsey Davis coming back onto the show.
She's coming back.
Yeah, we also have Ashley from Ashley Adventures with Ashley on YouTube. Great personality, great person to talk with. So it's going to be a lot of fun having her on the show. She was here actually with Kelsey last season, and so this season we're going to have her just come in and do an interview. Yeah, just by herself. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. We're also looking at, going out and checking out some places that are haunted. We've already done one, actually. In fact, Mystic, myself, and Gabriel have all gone with me to the Mission Inn. We got to check out the Mission Inn, walk around. We will definitely talk about that in an upcoming episode. And I'm also looking at Midsummer Scream again. And I'd love it for all of the Into the Void crew to come and check this out. Yeah, so Midsummer Scream, definitely going to check that out. A lot of spook venues and artists and makeup artists, a lot of actually YouTubers show up to that event also. So that's going to be really interesting.
Hashtag networking.
Right? So,
don't forget that we are also trying to do an outing to the Queen Mary.
Right, that's right.
In Long Beach. G-Man and I'm pretty certain Gabriel has done his research too, but that is a hotbed, local hotbed around here. The three of us have been trying to set something up to spend the night and get really into the bowels of the ship, see what we can catch. The three of us have our own individual experiences. We'll get to that in that future episode when we actually have our
Absolutely.
outing.
In fact, I'll throw this out there right now because this was something that I know I had been thinking about for the show, and I'm definitely throwing it out there because I'd like the listeners to give us their opinions on this, and also love to hear your, Mystic and Gabriel and Renee, your opinions for sure. Yeah. So the goal here is to basically do a quite possibly 3-part episode on the Queen Mary. From our own personal experiences to other people's experiences that work on the ship or have worked on the ship, and then ending it with all of us going to the ship and doing an investigation. There is an investigator that runs investigations at night. I think he runs it from I want to say 9 o'clock to maybe 4 a.m. I could be wrong. But that's something that we're definitely going to be looking at for this season.
Super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be spooky.
Season 2 will not end until the ITV team goes to the Queen Mary.
That's
if it takes season 2 2 years to complete, we will go to the Queen Mary for season 2.
It looks like Mystic is setting our goal already as it is. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So there's one thing I do want to mention before I move on to this other thing here, which is our Patreon account. Our Patreon has made a few changes, but before we get into that, let's make sure that we give praise to our newest Patreon member, Amanda Lorraine from Montana. Let's give her a hand.
Hey, thanks for the support. ITV wouldn't happen without you.
Thank you so much for being a member, and welcome to the Into the Void family. This is great having you. So thank you, Amanda Lorraine from Montana.
Buckle up, because you in for a wild ride.
Now, originally we were going to have David, our IT guy, talk about the Patreon account. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. So we are going to have Gabriel over here talk about our Patreon account, and I will say this before he starts. In the beginning, we had quite a few tiers. In fact, there were a lot of tiers on there. So we made some modifications to the site, and I trust you'll find it to be a little bit more reasonable. But what is Patreon? Well, let's turn to Gabriel over here, and Gabriel's going to let us know what exactly is Patreon and what our account offers.
Okay, so many of you do know what a Patreon is. However, for those who don't, Patreon is a membership platform based in the United States that provides business tools for creators to run subscription content service with ways for artists to build relationships and provide exclusive experiences to their subscribers or patrons. In other words, we want to get to know you. We want you to be able to contact and send us messages and be able to provide you a better show. So with that said, we have 3 tiers at the moment. Perhaps in the future it might expand. But as we're starting out, the first tier for $1, $1 only, you'll be inserted into the Explorers of the Void, which will allow you an exclusive role on our Discord chat server, a username shout-out on each of the podcasts, or on the podcast, excuse me, an awesome Into the Void sticker as well, and, of course, our gratitude for your patronism.
Remember, these stickers, by the way, they're custom-made stickers. These aren't just your average, I went out and bought sticker from whatever place. These are stickers that were designed by Into the Void for you, the listener, for when you join our Patreon. I apologize, Gabriel. Go ahead.
Oh, not a problem. So continuing on, our next tier is the Adventurers in the Void. Now, that gives you not only the roll into our Discord chat server and a shout out on the podcast, as well as the sticker, the awesome Into the Void sticker, you also get access to our patron-only chat channel that allows you to give us some more communication back and forth with you, the listener. Finally, we have our Heroes of the Void. Now, this for $10 and $10 only, you get everything else has already been stated, as well as our monthly Discord AMA chat with G-Man himself, and an entry to win a random prize that we will be promoting later on in the show. So these are our 3 tiers, and of course, as we grow and as we get more subscribers and patrons, we'll be able to provide you, the listener, with more fun and creepy.
So I want to talk about, Gabriel, first of all, thank you so much for letting us know about the Patreon. Very good information.
My pleasure.
I'd like to talk about now the website. We want to encourage you to visit it. Give it a gander and tell us what you think. The website itself has in-studio pics and links to different show episodes. We have an out and about section where you can see who we have met as we share with like-minded people about what we do on this show. Our research section where you can find all the information and the extent of knowledge, or the extent of where our knowledge comes from. So, Mystic,
yes.
You've seen the website.
Yes.
What do you think of the website?
It's very simple. Everything is easy to find, which I feel is what a lot of websites don't do. Is they try to be super flashy, have a bunch of embedded videos, or have these cool effects, yada yada yada, and that's nice, but
it takes away.
Yeah, but then what
like the idea of, of what.
If you're trying to sell me on the aesthetic of your website, then okay, cool, it looks nice, but what's your content? Then you have trash content. And I'm not saying paranormal websites have trash content. It's just things can be done better, in my opinion, at least.
So like when you go on a website, especially like for the paranormal, you're looking for just simplicity. You're not looking for that website with the a ghost popping out, fire in the background.
Yeah, I mean
weird music playing in the back.
It's like websites like that is like some college student C++ failed fucking midterm. They made a website and it didn't do good on their score, but they're like, it's up anyways, public domain, whatever.
Yeah.
I like simplicity. I want to be able to, if I want to look for the shows, hey, there's a drop down menu for the podcast shows. If I want to look for, like you said, the out and about section to see who we've talked to, hey, you click it, there's a portrait of Mike Fontaine, there's a picture of Ashley and Kelsey, it's all there. I will always choose practicality over aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
And Dave, our AT guy, does a very good job at keeping it simple and pragmatic.
Organized, A to B, easy to use.
Oh yeah, A to B. You want to find it, it's there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Gabriel, you've seen the website, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this then: when you go on to any website, appropriately, of course.
This is a family show. Be careful, guys.
What is it that you look for when you go on a website? What attracts you to that website?
Quite frankly, I like to know what I'm looking for. And with our site, I also want to know what it is we're talking about. So sometimes there's terms that I've not come across myself in the paranormal world. So I have been pushing for a glossary of sorts to be able to understand better what it is we're talking about. And for you two listeners, we want this to be something that you can get into as well without having to go too far. We're going to be your one-stop shop for your paranormal needs. So want to make sure that that's what I will look for when I go into a site like this, or even any other site. Sometimes there's content or vocabulary that I'm not familiar with, and I like to be able to find out without having to go to 15 different pages and determine what it is I'm looking for. So that's what I look for whenever I go to a site, if I don't already know what it is I'm looking for.
I like how you said that you're a one-stop shop for all your paranormal needs. That's I feel like we should use that now.
I'm done. And it's funny that you mentioned the glossary, because G-Man and I had actually I brought that up
the last meeting we had, yeah.
Yeah, in the last crew meeting we had with the three of us, we were talking about throwing up a glossary into the website to give you guys some some technical knowledge as far as the terminology you'll hear us use from time to time, all the time on the show. But again, it's one of those things that will be geared to the everyman. It's not going to be super technical. It's going to be geared so that someone who has no knowledge and experience in the paranormal field comes to the website and can study the glossary and walk away as if they've been doing it their entire life. Like, that's the goal.
And Renee, you've had a chance to see the website a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times.
What do you think of the site?
It's very, like everyone said, it's very simple. I like how basically it gets to the point of what you guys are talking about, what we're trying to talk about. Everything's, pretty much organized pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had any problems with it.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, no bugs so far, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's a great website. Listener, do me a favor and check it out. It's a great website to see. We have like I said, a lot of things on there, from outings to research to pictures to guests that have come on the show. We have their pictures up on there too, so you can take a look and see what they look like also. So again, highly encourage you to take a gander.
Take a meander and have a gander at intothevoid.com.
Have a gander. Take a gander. Have a gander. At
Hold on. I can do a better Southern voice.
Okay.
Take meander and have a gander at intothevoid.com.
There we go. By the way, this is not ghost related. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. This is all just us jerking around. It'll get cut out of
this is literally the introduction of season 2. This is kind of how we do things.
It's already off the rails, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So anyone new to the ITV team, understand that you're going to get a lot of this. And if we put up, there have been talk that we'll have blooper reels on the Patreon.
That is going to happen for sure. I'm sorry we didn't say that earlier, but yes. What we had planned to do was actually take the old recordings and find all the mess ups and the bleeps and the blops and whatever.
And the only reason we want to do that is so that way y'all can see the madness that goes on, the absolute off the rails tomfoolery, because I can't get away with swearing. So you're gonna get a lot of old timey swears from me. So
that is something I do want to mention too, is that this is a family show. We try to keep it family friendly, or at least teenager friendly. High school friendly? I don't know how you put it.
PG-13.
PG-13. There we go.
In high school, in high school, I was still getting my mouth washed out with soap.
Yeah.
I was getting my mouth washed out at 16, 17. I was getting soap in my mouth because I was
had that.
swearing like a sailor.
I've had that. And you'll never forget the taste of soap. That's for sure.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't even name brand soap. It was like
off-brand
dollar store, Mexican dollar store.
Nice.
So
they
so it's worse.
With an E.
You can taste the pig fat.
Oh man,
you can taste the pig fat. But anyways,
that's insane.
Back to all things related to non-normal things.
Right.
So Mystic.
No, if you've got a question,
non-normal.
Well, hey,
there you go.
That's me. But yeah, so our goals for season 2, we wanna crank out. I think it was 25 episodes is our goal.
Yeah, that's the goal, 25. But I mean, we could go more.
Definitely we can always go big.
Yeah.
But our goal is 25, only because for season 3 we are attempting to be backed by iHeart.
Look, he's already into season 3. Like, we hadn't even talked about season 3 already.
Well, I mean,
we
have no content for season 3. I'm disclaiming that now. But
thank you for correcting yourself on that.
But iHeart wants a certain amount of videos with a certain amount of views.
I mean, it's not just iHeart that wants it. There are other platforms too that want to make sure.
iHeart is the biggest one we're aiming for to try and get into this year.
Hey, iHeart, if you're listening, we would love to collaborate and maybe be able to work with you with our show. So
if you want to collab with the Mystic, please let me know.
So shout out to iHeartRadio.
But yeah, so that's
podcast section.
That's one of the big goals for the season. We've already talked about doing paranormal investigations to give you guys a firsthand impression of what it's like to do a paranormal investigation. Obviously, there's YouTube videos and stuff for that. But it's different when you do a podcast and no one sees your face, and then you're all of a sudden talking about doing live stream on a haunted boat.
Right. Yeah. Live streaming. That's definitely one of our goals, is to be able to do a live stream,
that up.
Either in studio or on location somewhere.
I think on location would go without saying, because I feel at least that it gives you guys, the listener, like a front row seat.
Right. Yeah.
Of, like, you guys see us checking in into a site, saying, "Okay, lights out," where you go in and you guys can see. I mean, we don't have low light cameras at the moment, but we will do our best.
We work with what we got. This show is, again,
Yes.
I stressed this actually from the first season, but this show is a growing show. This is the type of show where as we grow and our listeners grow, we're all going to grow together and we're all going to learn something new or something exciting, or maybe even touch on something we've already learned before, but then discover something even new within that thing that we've learned.
And that's the beautiful
depth.
thing is when
More depth, yeah.
is when you revisit something, you tend to look at it through like a different lens, a different filter, so that way you come back to it, you find something that wasn't there before.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Gabriel, this show, obviously, we're talking about goals here. Do you have any goals that you would like to bring to the show?
Yes, actually. As I get more involved, I'm one to try to get deeper into understanding. So, what I will try to bring to you, the listener, is a little bit more depth, as I used before, with the subject matter that we're bringing in. So for my segments that are coming up, I plan on bringing you a little bit more information that maybe we've given in the past. But
let's talk about that real quick here. Your segment that you have coming up for the show is on shadow people.
yes, the shadows.
Okay, and so you're going to be really diving in to the point where I was thinking even that it's probably going to be like a 2-part, maybe 3-part episode.
and there's
on
nothing
shadow
wrong
people.
with that.
Yeah.
Shadow people is a very involved. What's the word I'm looking for?
Topic.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the word.
So yeah, actually, I'm really excited. There's a lot of information out there regarding shadow people, and they go back, ancient history.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited. I don't want to give too much away because I want to leave it for the show. You, the listener, come on in and sit with us for a while and learn a little bit of what I found. So, and of course, get on that Patreon and send us your comments, send us your information, perhaps your stories. Then we can go ahead and touch base on it. We can connect on that level. So I'm really excited for that. I want to go ahead and get to know you as well. You're going to listen to us, get to know us. So we want to hear your stories out there too.
Yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. And Renee is actually. You've been here since the beginning of the show, and then we asked you to just be a part of the show.
Yeah, I was like doing all the sound stuff, and you guys asked me to come on an episode, and you enjoyed having me on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I love being on the show because for me, I don't really have goals for the show specifically. If anything, I'm excited to learn new things.
Okay, yeah.
More people's experiences. I think if anything, I'm more excited for that when people feel more comfortable talking about their own paranormal experiences or stories or stuff they have of their own. I'm more excited for that. I'm also
we have
excited.
some good ghostly encounters coming in. We have one specific person coming in that's going to be telling us their story about working at a hospital, which I've been pushing for.
That's going to be a good interview.
Yeah, I've been pushing since last season to get this person on. So
wow,
this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm just excited for this season.
And Renee, I think it goes without saying that even though you're not you work for the comic shop, it's having you on the show is integral in the sense of, like you said, you specifically don't have any goals for the show outside of just being educated, and that's great because now the listeners have a persona that is basically representing them, who has no active knowledge in the field and is just like, what's that about? Oh, that's what that means.
Exactly.
Okay, stuff like that, that grounding presence as part of the show, I feel is very, very integral. So I've always welcomed you into the show. Cool. Very, very crucial part for
thank
us.
you. I'm excited to be a stand-in for the audience then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Renee represents the audience.
Yeah. Our live studio audience is Renee.
Yeah, that's there we go.
Let's call him Every Man Renee.
Every Man Renee. There we go.
Like our sound cues is just Renee. His O's and ahs and laughs is just Renee reacting to us. Again, all the tomfoolery, you'll get that in the Patreon.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, this is definitely going to be a fun, exciting learning experience and also spooky and a little bit chilling of a season. Like I said, we're diving deeper into the void this season. And someone asked me one time, actually, and I told them, like, we're doing season 2, and they said, well, obviously you can do stuff on paranormal, but is there ever a point where it's going to stop and you won't be able to have anything else? And I said no, because like I said, we're diving deeper into the void of everything, of the unknown. And the person that I was talking to asked me, they said, well, how do you know when you've dove too far? And I said, you'll know.
Oh, no.
You'll know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You'll know.
You're going to need a house cleansing.
The thing with the paranormal is, and this is speaking from experience, and now G-Man, you can back me up on this, is you've dug real deep. You've dug deep enough when you stare into the abyss long enough and the abyss reaches out.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The void does have hands, and the void is not above.
You've
dug a little too deep.
My example would be when we were going to do the episode from last season on the black-eyed children, and I remember.
I don't know, man. The story you told me in our initial interviews when the show first started.
Oh yeah.
Your experience on base is a definite good example of.
And that's the only time I'll ever talk about it. By the way, I will never talk about it again.
I'll never bring that up. But I mean, I'm referencing it for the show.
Yeah. When we talked about the black-eyed children episode, I remember telling Renee and Gabe that. That night when I was going over all my notes and everything, I was just getting the most eerie feeling in my house. Like somebody was standing there watching me. I would like see something in the corner of my eye. Like it literally looked like a person, like almost like one of my kids was standing in the kitchen watching me type or work on the episode. And I look over and nothing was there. And then of course there was me taking a shower, and all of a sudden the doorbell rang. And I was like, what the heck? And I get out of the shower real quick, and I run to the door thinking that maybe it was someone important, or maybe one of you guys were coming over for episode talk or something. And nobody was at the door. No one was at the door, and it creeped me out. I ended up calling one of my good friends that works in Anaheim. I ended up calling him just to have someone on the phone with me because I was that freaked out. It is the craziest thing. So as far as diving into the void and knowing how far is too far, you will know.
The void will tell you.
Yes, the void will tell you you have gone too far. And if you push even further, you're gonna get pushed back. You're gonna get pushed back. You're gonna start to experience things, here and there, but they can intensify if not handled. And that's something that we will be talking about in the upcoming episodes, is how to deal with certain paranormal activity that starts to happen versus when it's already happening. I've learned that there are levels of these things, that when it starts to happen, when things start to move in your house, or you start hearing noises, or you start seeing things, that is actually a level of activity. And that's usually about a level 1, and it goes up to about a 10. And when you reach a 10, that 10 is you better call a church, get out of the house, get a priest, do something smart, not something dumb. So yeah, we're definitely going to be diving into that a lot more.
How to be safe in the void.
And I feel that's something we can do on the blog posts, is kind of like a do's and don'ts. Like I know we talked about that briefly season 1.
Yeah.
But I feel that's something we could definitely revisit and revise now that we've been a little more active and we have far more information and experience than we did when we started this project.
Yeah.
We can definitely revisit how to and how to not.
Yeah, absolutely.
For paranormal investigation, that's something G-Man and I...
That would be a good segment.
That would be.
G-Man, Gabe, and I will definitely talk with the rest of the team about.
Oh, yeah, and definitely come up with something to discuss. One thing, last thing here on goals real quick. My goal for this show is to, one, make sure that people are aware of this show. Also, my goal for the show is to make sure that we not only come into the studio and talk about a lot of these things and have interviews, but to really go out there and put ourselves out there now in the paranormal world. I also have a goal, which is to get not just repetitive interviews, but newer interviews. Yeah. And also, I've been looking into a lot of what YouTube does with the entertainment side of the paranormal versus the investigative side of the paranormal. So there are a lot of people out there who do videos to entertain people, entertain the internet. And I think it would be interesting to have a couple of those people on the show just to kind of figure out, like, I know you're entertaining people, but where do you stand when it comes to the actualness, informing and the actualness of the paranormal and activity that goes on,
and their perspective on the matter?
Yeah, the perspective on the matter, everything. I think that would be a really interesting thing to do. Listener, or anyone that is listening, if you happen to have a YouTube channel, or if you happen to know someone that has a paranormal YouTube channel, please send them our way. Have them listen to the show. We would love to have them on the show. I know one of my goals is, and I'm going to put this out there because I want people to really just talk about this. There's two guys that are very popular right now on the YouTube world. Their names are Sam and Colby. And these guys have been doing a lot of paranormal investigations, going overseas and I believe to England. And they went into a castle and they...
Mad lads, absolutely mad lads.
Yeah, exactly. And so... that would be a great thing to have them come on the show. I've met them in person, two of the nicest guys that I've met in a long time. So other than, Mystic and Gabriel and Renee over here. So
what he's basically saying is we don't mean anything.
So no.
Thanks, Dad.
Again, walking through the forest, that tree falls and doesn't make a sound.
Wasn't me.
Exactly. So there are a lot of goals that would like to be met for this season. A lot of ideas that have been popped up, thrown around, and written down are going to be used on the show. So it should be interesting. All right, well, that's pretty much going to do it for us. That's going to do it for us at the comic book shop, apparently.
Okay, so that'll do it for us here at Into the Void.
Right?
Seriously. Recorded to you live in Undercity Comics. G-Man can't speak right now.
Apparently
English
I cannot
is not
talk.
one of the languages he's capable of right now.
That's all, folks.
Porky Pig over here. That's all, folks.
Oh my goodness! All right. Yes.
Quick thing is with the Tech Talk with Mystic. With some of the stuff I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do my damnedest to provide examples of the things I talk about. So when I do the digital voice recorders and talk about the EVPs, I'm going to try and give you links to EVP clips. I don't have any that I've collected myself. But I am very particular when I do my research. So if I do find something compelling, definitely will go up, and that'll go into anywhere I can fit in evidence or examples of what it is I'm talking about. Definitely keep an eye out for links, photos, something. Expect something from me so that way you guys have a visual to the best of my ability.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Definitely touching up on that.
All right, let's try this one more time. And all right, well, that's going to do it for us here. I would like to thank David, Gabriel, and Renee for once again, Mystic for joining me as we kick off what I feel is going to be a very exciting and spooky season 2. So be sure to tune into the next episode as we talk with paranormal investigator Michael Scott. Mystic, I know you're excited about this, so...
I'm excited for a lot of reasons, and if you can't tell in my voice, it's because I'm in studio and I'm trying my best to keep my big boy pants on.
Containment is so hard right now.
So Michael Scott has a lot of good videos. One of my favorites he's done is I forget the name of the place, but it's the hotel that The Shining is based off of. I forget
Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley.
Yes, the Stanley Hotel.
He spends the night, rents a room and spends the night, and does it's a beautiful location, absolutely beautiful place in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want there for a vacation, 100% recommended just for the aesthetic alone. But if you guys are like G-Man, Gabe, and I, who like diving into things, it's definitely a place to look out. But
absolutely,
for me, it'll be the first time I'm actually interviewing a YouTuber, anyone with any sort of actual fame. So I mean, anyone with any more fame than I got is a celebrity to me. So
that's understandable. Yeah.
So I'm super excited. I've been up watching his videos to the best of my ability. So that way, when he comes on, I know you were in communication with him to see what specifically he wanted to talk about.
Yes. Yes.
So whenever you have that, I'll definitely give those videos a priority. So
definitely.
Come next week, listeners, when Mike won't be here with us physically.
This will be a over the phone interview with Michael Scott because he lives up north, and so it would be a little bit of a travel for him to come down this way. But
there's a lot of up north.
There's a lot.
Where up north?
That's a good question, and I will not give that away because I don't want to be giving away too much when I didn't really get the approval to give out where he lives. So, but maybe we can
work something out.
Yeah.
I just meant like Northern California, Oregon, Washington.
Well, in some of his videos, he states that he used to live in LA.
Right. Yeah.
So I know at some point he did or he does just super like northern LA, which is fine.
Yeah. So before we go walking off into the abyss, I would like to remind our listener that if you're a fan of what you've heard on this episode, please check out the show. Then please show this show some love by checking out our social media. We've got Facebook at Pod Paranormal 87, Instagram at Void Podcast 18, Twitter at Nightwing Silver. Our website is www.intothevoidpod.com. That's www.intothevoidpod.com. And also, be sure to tell everyone about this show. After you've listened to this show, go out and tell someone, have you heard a paranormal podcast by the name of Into the Void? If they say no, have them listen. If they have them keep listening. And on that, I want to thank again, Mystic, Gabriel, Renee, thank you so much. And I'm G-Man. This is season 2, and I would like to thank you for falling with me into the void.